Listen to the rain. It falls on the roof above you. It is cold outside, but you are inside. You are warm. Long ago, in the far north, the Vikings also listened to the rain. They heard the wind. They felt the snow. Winter was long. Winter was dark. Winter was cold. But the Vikings were clever. They did not have electric heaters. They did not have radiators. They did not have warm air blowing from a machine. Yet their homes were warm. How did they do it? This is a quiet story. A slow story. A story about fire, wood, wool, and stone. A story about families huddled together. A story about staying alive when the world outside is frozen. We will take a gentle journey. We will visit a Viking longhouse. We will see the hearth. We will touch the walls. We will feel the warmth. There is no need to be alert. No need to worry. No loud noises will come. No sudden surprises. Just the rain. Just the fire. Just the slow, steady truth of history. Let us begin. The Viking home was called a longhouse. Imagine a very long boat turned upside down. That is the shape. It was made of wood. Sometimes stone. Sometimes turf from the ground. The roof was curved. It looked like the belly of a ship. On top of the roof, there was grass. Real grass. Moss. Small flowers in summer. In winter, the grass froze. But the grass and earth kept the cold out. Thick earth is a good blanket. Inside the longhouse, there was one main room. Just one. Families lived together. Grandparents. Parents. Children. Sometimes animals too. Sheep. Goats. Cows. All together. Why? Because bodies give heat. Warm bodies pressed close. That is one answer. But the main answer is the hearth. The hearth was a long fire pit. It sat in the middle of the floor. It was not round like a campfire. It was long, like a rectangle. Sometimes 10 feet long. Sometimes longer. The hearth was made of stone. Flat stones. Heavy stones. Stones that held heat. The Vikings built the fire right on these stones. The wood burned slowly. Not a wild fire. A steady fire. The fire gave light. The fire gave warmth. But the fire did something else. It heated the stones. Hot stones stay warm for hours. Even after the flames go down, the stones glow. They radiate heat like a sleeping sun. The Vikings chose their wood carefully. Oak was good. Birch was good. Ash was good. They did not burn green wood. Green would make smoke. Green wood spits and pops. They used dry wood. Dry wood burns calm. Dry wood burns even. The fire was never huge. A huge fire eats air. A huge fire needs constant feeding. The Viking fire was modest. A bed of coals. A few logs. The coals did the real work. Coals glow red. Coals do not dance. Coals just sit and send out warmth. Above the fire, there was a hole in the roof. A smoke hole. The smoke rose up. It drifted out slowly. But some smoke stayed inside. That is fine. The smoke kept insects away. The smoke smelled like winter, like comfort. The hearth was in the center of the longhouse. That means the fire was in the center of life. The family sat around it. They told stories. They carved wood. They sewed clothes. All in the warm glow. At night, they slept near the hearth. Not too close. Embers can burn, but close enough to feel the heat. They slept on raised wooden benches along the walls. The benches were covered with furs. Sheepskin, bearskin, reindeer hide. Fur traps heat. Your body warms the fur. The fur warms you back. Now imagine the rain outside. The wind. The dark. But you are on a wooden bench. A fur blanket over you. The hearth glows 2 feet away. The stones under the fire are hot. The air above the stones is warm. That warmth spreads. It touches your face, your hands, your feet. That is how a Viking slept. Warm, safe, listening to the rain. The fire was important, but the fire alone is not enough. You must keep the heat inside. You must stop the cold from coming in. The Vikings were masters of this. Their walls were not like our walls. We have drywall. We have insulation made of pink fiberglass. The Vikings had nature. They used the land itself. Let us look at a typical Viking wall. First, there was a frame of wood. Oak or pine. Strong logs. These logs stood upright, or sometimes laid horizontally. Between the logs, there was a gap. A small gap. Cold air could sneak through. So the Vikings filled the gaps. They used clay. They used mud. They used animal hair. Horse hair. Cow hair. They mixed the hair with clay. They pressed it into the cracks. This mixture dried hard. It blocked the wind. It kept the warmth in. But the best insulation was turf. Turf is a slice of earth. Grass on top. Roots underneath. Soil in the middle. The Vikings cut turf into bricks. Long green bricks. They stacked these bricks against the outer walls. A turf wall is very thick. Sometimes 3 feet thick. More than a meter. The cold tries to get in. But the turf slows it down. The turf is like a heavy coat. The cold gets tired. It stops halfway through. Turf also absorbs sound. That is good for sleep. The rain does not sound sharp. It sounds soft, muffled, like cotton. Inside the walls, the Vikings added another layer. They hung tapestries, large woven cloths. These tapestries were made of wool. Wool is a miracle fiber. Wool keeps you warm even when wet. But wool also traps air. Air is a bad conductor of heat. That means heat does not move through air quickly. So the wool tapestry stopped the heat from leaving. The fire warmed the air. The air touched the wool. The wool said, "Stay here. Do not go to the cold wall." The Vikings also used animal skins on the walls. Goat skins, sheep skins, fur facing inward. The fur caught the warm air. It held it, like a soft net. Now let us talk about the floor. The floor was not stone. It was not wood planks like a castle. The floor was packed earth, dirt, but not cold dirt. The Vikings covered the dirt with rushes. Rushes are long grass from the riverbank. They dried the rushes. They spread them thick on the floor, 6 inches deep, sometimes more. The rushes acted like a blanket for the floor. Cold rises from the ground, but the rushes stopped it. You could walk barefoot on the rushes. It felt soft. It felt warm. And the rushes smelled sweet. Like hay. Like summer. A good smell for a winter night. The door was small. Very small. You had to bend down to enter. Why? Because a small door lets in less cold air. The door faced away from the wind. The Vikings watched the weather. They built their door on the south side. The south side has less wind. The south side has a little sun. They also had a second door. A door for the animals. The animals lived at one end of the longhouse. Their body heat helped warm the house. A cow gives off as much heat as a small radiator. 10 cows give off a lot of heat. The animal door was also small. And it had a heavy curtain. A wool curtain. The curtain stopped drafts. The curtain kept the warm air where it belonged. Inside. So the walls breathed. But they breathed slowly. They kept the cold out. They kept the heat in. The hearth, the turf, the wool, the rushes, the animals. All working together. A quiet, steady system. We have talked about the fire. We have talked about the walls. Now we talk about the secrets. The clever tricks. The small things that made a big difference. First, let us talk about stones. The Vikings loved stones. Not pretty gems. Ordinary stones from the river. Round stones. Flat stones. They put these stones in the fire. The stones got very hot. Hotter than the air around them. After the fire died down at night, the stones stayed hot. The Vikings took these hot stones. They carried them with iron tongs. They placed the stones in special pits. These pits were near the sleeping benches. The stones radiated heat for hours. 6 hours. 8 hours. All through the night. While you slept, the stones worked. They sent gentle warmth into your back. Into your legs. Like a warm animal sleeping beside you. But the Vikings did not stop there. They also used ashes. Ashes from the fire. Ashes are small. Light. Gray. But ashes hold heat. After the fire burned low, the Vikings swept the ashes into a pile. A thick pile. They did not throw the ashes away. They put the ashes into leather bags. Soft leather. The bags became hot pads. You could hold an ash bag in your hands. You could put it under your blanket at your feet. The heat lasted for a long time. Slow heat. Kind heat. Now let us look at the bed. It was not a modern bed. No mattress with springs. No fluffy pillows. The Viking bed was a wooden box. A closet. Yes, a bed closet. A small room inside the room. The bed closet was built into the wall. It had wooden walls on 3 sides, and a curtain on the 4th side. You crawled inside. The space was just big enough for 2 people, or 3 small children. Why a closet? Because small spaces stay warm. Your body heat fills the closet quickly. The wooden walls trap the heat. The curtain keeps drafts out. In 5 minutes, the air inside the closet is much warmer than the air in the main room. The bed closet had straw inside. A thick layer of straw on the bottom. Straw is hollow. Hollow things trap air. Air is warm. On top of the straw, there were furs. Many furs. You lay down. You pulled a fur over you. The fur touched your chin. You were in a warm cave. A dark, quiet, warm cave. The Vikings also had a special blanket. It was not a normal blanket. It was filled with feathers. Eiderdown. From the eider duck. This blanket is very light, but very warm. It is still used today in cold countries. A duvet. Imagine the rain, the dark, the long winter night. You are inside the bed closet. The stones glow in their pit nearby. An ash bag rests at your feet. The wool curtain is closed. Your family sleeps close. You hear breathing. Slow breathing. Your own breathing. The rain on the roof. The fire coals hissing softly. You are not cold. You have never been cold. The Vikings built their warmth with patience. With knowledge passed from mother to daughter. From father to son. One more trick. The Vikings heated their clothes. In the morning, the air is cold. You do not want to put on a cold shirt. So they hung their clothes on a wooden rack near the hearth. The clothes absorbed the heat from the fire. They also absorbed the heat from the stones. When you woke up, your tunic was warm. Your wool socks were warm. You put them on. The warmth stayed against your skin. The children had special hats. Wool hats that covered the ears and neck. The hats hung by the fire all night. In the morning, the hats were hot. The children put them on. They smiled. Then they went to feed the animals. The animals were also warm. The cow shed was attached to the longhouse. A small door connected them. The cow's breath made steam. The steam rose to the roof. The roof had turf. The turf absorbed the moisture. The moisture did not freeze. The cow was comfortable. The family was comfortable. Everything worked together. Fire, stone, ash, wool, fur, straw, turf, breath, bodies, all slow, all steady, all warm. And so the long night passes. The fire burns down to embers. The embers glow orange, then red, then a deep, dark cherry, then almost black, but still warm. The stones in the pit are cooling, but they are still warm. The ash bag is losing its heat, but slowly, very slowly. The family sleeps. The rain falls. The wind moves the grass on the roof. But inside, there is only peace. Only the soft sound of sleeping people. A child murmurs. A dog sighs. The cow shifts its weight. The Vikings did not fear the cold. They understood it. They honored it. They built their lives around it. They used what nature gave them. Wood, stone, wool, fur. They did not fight the winter. They invited the winter in. But they told the winter, you may stay outside. We will stay inside. We will be warm. Now it is time for you to rest. You are not in a Viking longhouse. But you are safe. You are warm. The rain is only a sound. The dark is only a color. There is nothing to do. Nothing to fix. Nothing to remember. Let your breath become slow. Like the embers. Let your body feel heavy. Like the stones. Let your mind become soft. Like the ashes. The fire is low. The room is quiet. The rain is fading. 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 You are warm. You are safe. You are sleeping now. Ambient. Rain fades to complete silence. Fire crackle fades to silence. 10 seconds of silence. Then the faintest sound of a single log settling. Then nothing. Sleep well.